Today, we will review the 2017 USRA Light Nickel Plate Road Mikado 587. A lot of people are surprised that I bought this locomotive, and it was because I always wanted a Mikado. A couple years ago, I started buying, surviving, and operating steam locomotives to go with my Excursion steam program passenger trains. Many of you are probably still wondering why I got 587. Originally, I wanted to get 765 next, but due to the smokebox light coloring on the 2018-2017 announcement, which eventually the run came out in 2018, I made the decision to pass and was looking for a 2014 run on the secondhand market, but I've had no luck. But to tell you the truth, the nickel plate Mikados were very great prototypes, and the real 587 life story inspired me to get this locomotive. I picked this one up from Train World as a part of the USA Independence Day sale, and I got the locomotive for over $460 off of retail, so it was a great deal. 587 is hard to find now other than the secondhand purchases, so if you want one, good luck finding one, but when you find it, I promise you it'll be worth it. Let's get to the real story behind the prototype Nickel Plate Road 587. Nickel Plate Road 587 is a 282 type USRA Light Mikado steam locomotive originally built in September of 1918 by the Baldwin Locomotive Works for the Lake Erie and Western Railroad as numbered 5541. In 1923, the L.E.N.W. was merged into the New York, Chicago, and St. Louis Railroad, commonly referred as the Nickel Plate Road, and was allocated 587 as its new number in 1924. In 2003, the locomotive was being restored by the Indiana Transportation Museum in Noblesville, Indiana. However, in 2018, the museum was currently being moved to Logansport, Indiana, forcing 587 to be restored in Ravenna, Kentucky by the Kentucky Steam Heritage Corporation until the ITM can raise funds to restore the locomotive to operating condition. 587's first excursion life started in September of 1988 and was retired again in 2003 as the FRA's mandated inspection arised a part of the 15-year inspection check, thus silencing the locomotive for 17 years. As mentioned earlier, the ITM hopes to bring it back in the near future. The first ever run of 587 O gauge came with MTH. However, the Excursion Tender you see here was not a part of that model. It closely resembled the original smaller tender behind other Nickel Plate Road Mikado 639. Lionel introduced their rendition as a part of a huge run of different railroad Mikados. An interesting fact is all of the Mikados had unique and different whistles corresponding to their railroads. The Union Pacific whistle is based off the Vision Line Big Boy, and the New York Central is a part of the Empire State Express Dreyfuss Hudsons. 587 is not a Bluetooth model, so you won't have to worry about having your locomotive hijacked. I have provided some thoughts about Bluetooth and 3-rail models in the Lionel Legacy Shea review. However, I will share that clip in this video as well. As many of you know, Lionel introduced the Bluetooth control additions to their models made after 2018. This was great for those who wanted to have a control system if they didn't have Legacy Control System, a Cab 1 or Cab 1L system on their home layout. Now keep in mind that manufacturers make trains primarily geared for the user's personal layouts. Bluetooth opened a door for visitors at train shows to hijack trains with the app, and I believe Lionel introduced a kill switch starting with the products in the 2018 Volume 2 catalog, and this was a great addition. I only have one locomotive that does not have a Bluetooth switch, and that is my 1225. I don't plan to modify my 1225 because the Bluetooth comes in handy if the Layout Legacy control system decides to lose its signal on a layout. You can start the locomotive up with the app and operate it that way. I believe the app can't override locomotives if it's getting a Legacy or TMCC command. Let's take a closer look at 587. We're going to start off with the front. It has a swinging bell and 2 number boards on each side. It also has a headlight in front with green classification lights. You got a little handlebar smiley face under the lights. And of course, the smoke box door does open and it's held by a magnet. Another interesting thing that should be pointed out is 587 does come with a separately applied big coupler. And if you guys look at the catalog, there is a typing misprint under the section these Mikados are. I thought that I would not be able to lash it up with another locomotive. But thanks to Bryce, also known as L-Scale Trains Lover on Instagram, he was able to help me because he owns a New York Central Mikado and confirmed that it does lash up, and he did lash his up with a Empire State Express Hudson. And the cool thing now is I plan to double head this with 1225, or when I get 765, I will be double heading this and 765 together to run the long coal train or to run my long 1950s mixed freight train, or even using it as a part of the excursion trains. Continuing along, we will cover a lot of things in this section. Here is the smokestack for the locomotive, and to fill up the smoke, you just put the smoke down the stack. You also got some nice white pinstriped alongside the walks of the locomotive. You also got some nice valve gear down here with the drivers. You also got some separately applied and molded in detail along here as well. You got a sand dome, you got another steam dome, you got safeties back here, and you got the smoking whistle, which is right back there. Now the good thing is with this model, the smoking whistle effect, the smoke does feed through the stack. So when you fill it up through the stack, it'll feed the smoke for the whistle as well. Here's a dynamo generator back here as well. Continuing along to the back of the locomotive, you got 587 in a nice crisp detail right here. You also got some cab figures on each side, and you got some windows right here that do not operate at all. However, there are two hatches on top of the locomotive that all you gotta do is just move them just a little bit, and they open up just like that. There's not much detail to look at inside the cab. It's pretty bland, but the cool thing is we'll be continuing on to the tender, which I like a lot. So the first thing you'll notice is that there is a coal load. The coal load is actually real coal, as Lionel has used in the past, and the hatch for the water does open, and the volume pot is right here, and they all close like that. Right here there is a little legible plate that says do not fill above the collar for the coal bunker. Here we are taking a look at the back of the locomotive with the coupler lift bar that does lift up like this. You got a ladder that leads up to the top of the tender. You got handrails all around, and you got some down here and some step plates for the crew. Continuing along, we have the New York, Chicago, and St. Louis right here, and the nickel plate road. Here's a better look of the front of the locomotive. I'm going to slowly move the camera to the back to kind of give you guys a little bit more of an overview. The smoking whistle hole is just a little bit front of the steam dome, and continuing along to the back, we got some nice detail with the back pilot truck. And continuing along furthermore, we got a toolbox, and we have some other molded in detail down here. As you guys recalled, I started doing advertisements in several of my videos, so today's advertisement and a shout out goes to Max Harris. Max Harris, as many of you guys know, is Max Railroad here on YouTube, and in 2019 he started the Behind the Throttle web blog, and is now one of the best things to read that is free. Max has been able to interview various people he has gone in contact through social media and even going on family trips. You learn a lot about these individuals and might learn something new about your favorite railroad, person, or locomotive. If you haven't checked it out yet, the link is in the bio. My favorite feature on 587 is the Excursion Tender. Yes, Nickel Plate had these tenders on the Mikados and the Berks, but since I've never seen this locomotive in person, the tender looks so tall and slightly huge behind this locomotive. Like the last review, we will do the wrap up here. I bought the one and only 587 Train World had left in stock, and the retail price at the time was $12.99, and the price usually goes around for $11.69. But many stores are selling different railroads for as low as $550. And unfortunately, 587 will not be the easiest locomotive to find, and the price will be pretty steep. And like I said, I almost got mine for $460 off of retail and the sale price combined. So 587 is a very nice locomotive, like I said in the video. 587 is a very nice locomotive, and like I said in the beginning of this video, I always wanted a Mikado, and this was a perfect candidate. I'm glad you got to see this model up close, and I hope you enjoy the running session, and I will see you guys next time.
This is the yard office. Do you copy? I read you. Over. We should have you rolling in just a moment. Watch your signals. Over. Yes, sir. We'll fire her up. Out. Dispatcher, air is made. Brake test complete. Are we clear to pull? Over. Please hold. Getting your route line now. Acknowledged. Waiting on a clear signal. Out. This is the yardmaster. Please hold at your location. Over. Gotcha, dispatcher. Waiting for a clear. Out. Dispatcher, am I cleared to the outbound? Over. You are clear through my limits. Over.